Hey everyone, Dominic here with ListerPros TV, and we are here during this segment of Rise and Grind with Rebecca Hidalgo Rains, the superstar of Berkshire Hathaway. That's what we think of her, at least. So we're here to pick her brain a little, learn all of her tips and secrets.
Ooh, you guys want my secret sauce? I'll tell you what it is.
So Rebecca, thanks for joining us today. And let's start with letting everyone know out there who you are and how you got into real estate.
Well, we're talking about starting my day, right? Perfect setting, because this is actually my kitchen, and I start with coffee right around the corner from the fridge right here behind him. But how I started in the family business, got sucked into it at the age of 2 when I got licensed in 1993. Okay, I wasn't 2, I was more like 20. Don't add up all the years on me. But honestly, I got sucked into the business by my dad. And that's how most of us get into real estate. It's a very relationship type business. And the reality is, it's either somebody you know, a family member, most of the time. And some of us just have that internal drive and just want to go be realtors. And that's awesome if you're one of those. But it really does help to have somebody that you trust mentor you and help you get started. And that was, for me, was my dad. But I quickly learned in the young age of 20 that working with family can be really challenging. And I worked for him during college and did resale. We actually did a lot of VA repo homes. I've been through a couple of the ups and downs of real estate already. And one thing I can definitely tell you is you need to be adaptive to the market. And whenever somebody asks you if it's a good market, it just depends. Because if you're a buyer, seller, investor, it's a good market for somebody all the time. And quite honestly, I did an awful lot of short sales during the downturn when a lot of people were getting out. If you just keep an eye on the game and pay attention to what's going on around you, you can always make money. But really, I started working for him. And then once I graduated from college, I went and worked for a local builder and worked for builders from basically 1996 through 2007 exclusively. So I have a very strong builder background, and currently I manage and recruit for a local builder as well, have a very big, thriving resale business. In 2007, when the market crashed and I was unfortunately firing a lot of salespeople, that was like the worst part of my job. I hated that time period. It sucked. And realistically, I was trying to keep ahead of the game, paying attention to what was going on. I personally had my own short sales I needed to do, and I learned how to do them really well, really fast. So from 2007 through 2013, that was the biggest focus for myself and my team. And we helped hundreds of people do short sales during that era. Then right after the short sales were over, the foreclosures were over, for the most part, there's a very small segment of our marketplace today. I got back into representing a local builder, and the resale market changed. And again, it's about staying ahead of what's happening now. I'm super geeky. I'm a total nerd, and I study the Cromford Report like nobody's business. Those of us who are busy and big in the business do. I can throw out plenty of names of other agents I know that study the stats and are trying to stay ahead of the competition. And I think that's really the most important thing that I've done. When I was joking earlier about my secret sauce, is just being different. During the short sale era, nobody paid ListerPros. ListerPros didn't even exist. Who was spending money on photos? Nobody was. You were lucky. If anything, you actually wanted your houses to look bad. I know that sounds weird, and I can explain probably ad nauseum about why. But my husband James would come in, use our crappy little camera and take a couple of pictures and call it good, because people are selling their homes at a loss. It really didn't matter what they were selling for at that time, but guess what? Today it really does matter. And so I spend a lot of money and invest in my listings a ton. As you know, I've done a lot of videos with ListerPros. I've jumped in pools. I've been in bathtubs. I have done all kinds of crazy stuff because I want to set myself apart. I want to get extra eyes on my clients' listings, and doing things that nobody else is willing to do. That probably is one of the number one things I do for my clients, is I do things that other agents just aren't willing to do.
Obviously, you've established a process that really works with you, and you're an industry veteran, and that's really impressive to really find out exactly, how you've managed to still succeed with the, I wouldn't even say ebbs and flows, because the market just completely crashed, around 2007, and to be able to make it through that and still experience, not only just a measure of success, but, another level of success. And I say that just recently with your 2016, you had quite a bit of success being #1 for Berkshire Hathaway Associates in units sold for 2016. And not to mention, the best customer service team for Berkshire Hathaway is right here. Take us into what your day looks like, Rebecca, and how your team just goes about its business as far as what has proven to be successful for you in terms of whether that be lead generation, etc.
Okay, so we're talking lead generation. What I'm going to say, customer service to me is #1. And I'm going to give a little shout out to those Callaways, and they are with a different brokerage. I think there's plenty of success out there for everybody who's out there who wants it. And I'm giving them a shout out because they wrote a great book, which is Clients First. And I will tell each and every one of you, if you care about your clients and truly care about your clients and do what is right for them, regardless of whether it's right for you in your back pocket, you will always have clients for life. And so when we're talking about lead gen, what I'm going to talk about first and foremost, the secret sauce, is I have 3 examples of compliments that I've received recently. And this really leads up to the #1 thing you guys need to make sure you're doing if you're going to do a good job taking care of your clients. And that is, I spoke with a client that I had helped a couple of years ago, called him for something completely not real estate related out of the blue. He picks up the phone. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I haven't heard from you in so long." He moved out of state, and he's no longer in Arizona. I don't even know if he's still in my database, but the reason why I called him really isn't consequential, but what he did tell me, which was super cool, he's like, "Rebecca, you're one of those agents that just sticks. Something about you just stick." And I go, "What are you talking about, just sticks? That sounds kind of weird." And he's like, "No, I befriended him and his family when they moved here from Colorado. He moved in Chandler, which I live in Chandler, and everything that he needed help with, whether it was the schools for his kids, where to go for music classes. I was not just a real estate broker, but a knowledge broker, and I really cared." And so that was one compliment that I just received recently. And then another was from a loan officer who, of course, loan officers know a ton of agents, right? This particular loan officer wanted to make sure that his wife came to my office to get a job, and has referred a family member to me as well, because he respected me so much, again, because of how much I care about people. And then one that just stands out from years past, locally there was a mortgage broker who actually owned his own company, hundreds, I'm not joking, hundreds of realtors he could have chosen to help him. And he chose me, and I'm like super impressed, going, "Wow, thank you. Why'd you hire me? I just figured, you already have my business. Why didn't you use somebody else?" He's like, "Rebecca, I've never met anybody who cares more about their clients. And I have lost sleep at nights when deals don't go right. When it comes to fighting for them, I fight like crazy." And so that is key. Clients first, always foremost first. I can't stress that enough. But after that, 85% of realtors don't bother to stay in touch with their database. They close them and they forget them. So when we're talking lead gen, why start new with somebody that you never met before, that's a cold lead, that's maybe off of a list you're getting from your title company? Why aren't you following up with your past clients? The majority of the people that we help are referral or past clients. And that's because A, we took really good care of them to start with, and B, they want to make sure their friends and family are using us because of the experience was so good for them. And then again, I'm doing these dorky videos all the time. Again, I'm the first to say I'm a total nerd. I'm always staying in front of them. I offer contests. I do all kinds of things to make it fun to watch my videos as much as possible. And because they can't forget about me when they're ready to sell their house that I sold them 5, 6, 10 years ago, they want to make sure they come back to me again. And so again, I'm going to stress the fact I'm not a cold lead, cold caller kind of gal, but I take really good care of the clients I do have and make sure that not only do they want to use me again, they want to make sure the people they care about use me too.
So you have a process that revolves around customer service, and that's impressive because in an industry where you said 85% don't bother to look at their past clients as a way of looking at lead generation, that
a lot of agents are lazy. I'm telling you, they make you look good by just trying a little bit. That's the truth of it. I mean, just follow up. see how they did after they moved in, a month after, maybe a year after. And if you don't have a CRM, get a CRM and use it. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy.
All right, Rebecca, so let me ask you one last question. What makes the Valley so appealing? Why is it such a great place to live and sell real estate?
Oh, now that's a fantastic question. I've been living in the Valley for about 30 years now, licensed for about 24. And what I can tell you is obviously weather is awesome. You know, today I think it's like 65, 67 degrees. Maybe you'll hit 70. Oh, yeah, woe is me. But besides the weather, I remember when like Gilbert Road seemed so far away. I went to Dobson High School when I went to school here, and literally the freeway stopped there. We have phenomenal freeway system for growth, and not to mention that, because, you know, the freeway goes well beyond Gilbert Road now. Besides that, we have wonderful schools and job growth, and there are so many industries continually coming to the Valley, and it's affordable housing. No wonder we had, I think, hit number one for projected for this year for real estate growth and sales, because we have weather, we have jobs, and affordable housing, and that is why so many people have been moving to Arizona, because quite frankly, I've watched this valley probably triple in size since I've lived here.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh my goodness. Barrio Queen, Gilbert Road. I love Mexican food, and they make the best Mexican food there.
Awesome. So that is Rebecca. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. We really appreciate it, and this is Rise and Grind. So tune in for the next one. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks again, Rebecca.